I'm really excited about the card I drew from my Louise Hay Power Thought deck today. It says, I have the perfect living space. And then it says on the back, I see myself living in a wonderful place. It fulfills all my needs and desires. It's in a perfect location and at a price I can afford. And I just love that I drew this card today because it is the perfect card to go along with my tidying of my home process. So I just changed the artwork on the Samsung Art TV to one of my favorite artists, Gooly. And they have all of these adorable little cartoony animal characters. And this one is just so cute because this is what Erin and I want to do. We want to go out on the road in our little camper van. And I just realized it's exactly 5 months from when I'm going to turn age 43. So I'm going to give myself that timeline for when I want to complete my tidying and minimalist journey. And I'm here in my bathroom right now. And I realize that I'm really just at the beginning of this tidying up process because yesterday I spent some time setting up these plastic crates that I got from Dollar Tree and just at least starting from sorting all of my products and purchases. Just kind of at least starting with putting them into categories. And you can see I have a lot of products and junk. And I have some more under the bathroom sink, and it's just all of these different hair care and nail polish and cosmetics, a ton of sunscreen products, which I no longer use sunscreen since I'm gone carnivore. And so I realized that the first step is just going to be to start sorting things out and then to gradually remove the extraneous things. And it's really easy to compare ourselves to the minimalists that you see on YouTube, where everything's just really pale and bare in their houses. And I look at them and I think, oh, I wish I had that. But at the same time, I realize that maybe I'll never get there because I do want to achieve balance and still maintain things that spark joy and have some playful elements in my house. But even looking at my shower curtain, I was starting to get shower curtain envy. And because I look at these minimalists who have everything is like white or like a pale earth tone or gray, and here I have this really busy shower curtain. So it's just the beginning, and one of the things I want to balance is not buying new things to replace the things that I think aren't, minimalist approved aesthetics. And then I also want to fight against feeling guilt for all of the things I've purchased and now would be wasting by tossing them. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. And I'm going to just keep going. I'm realizing that I really have accumulated a lot of stuff over 4 decades. And I've moved many times. So I'm kind of uncertain as to how I've managed to accumulate so many things. But you can see here I've set up this kind of temporary station in the hallway. It's not very attractive. But I have so many plants and so many essential oils and so many cosmetics and hair care products. And I just really need to start, teasing the things out before I decide what to get rid of. And here I'm just looking into my office closet. You can see I just have so many things. A lot of office supplies on this shelving unit, craft supplies, affirmation cards. I noticed as well that I have a lot of wellness devices, like things that I used to use to manage pain, kind of pre-carnivore when I had a lot of pain. So I've spent a lot of money on those types of devices. Here's the other side of the closet. I guess I would consider this the before pictures or videos. There are some of those wellness devices that I've purchased. I have some pillows, a lot of blankets, And then down below are kind of my prepping boxes that I bought at the beginning of the pandemic when I was freaking out about COVID and going into lockdown. And then, of course, some yoga props. So it's really going to take some time to figure out what of all of this stuff that I want to keep. Even if it's semi-organized, it really doesn't feel good to just have so many things and not know where they are and not know what they are. Like I said, I have so many wellness implements, but I don't actually use them regularly just because I have so many and I don't really even have time to figure out what to use and when. And here I'm looking into my bedroom closet. You can see I've made some attempt to minimize my clothing, but again, I still have a lot of stuff. You know, a lot of shoes. I have some more clothes stored in my shed. And considering that I only moved into this place in 2019, October of 2019, it's kind of incredible how much I've already accumulated. So I do want to kind of go through each thing and figure out what's truly essential. Here we have Aaron's side of the closet, which he's generally fairly tidy. And these are just the clothes he keeps at my place, but he has a bunch more at the boat as well. And I know he's also trying to kind of minimize everything he has. But yeah, he's into fashion. He looks good in clothes. He likes watches. He has nice style. And so, you know, he tends to accumulate a lot of really cool t-shirts and jackets, and he probably has more clothes than I do. And then looking out again, here's my little altar that I showed on another video. And then I bought this little crate thing at Target, and of course it's filled with more junk. I mean, it's semi-organized again, but it's still junk. And I really know, like Marie Kondo says, that when there's junk and clutter even behind cabinets and closet doors and drawers, you still actually are aware of it, and it does drain your energy. So I am going to be working toward purging out a lot of the excess, especially things that I literally never use. And like I said, one of my biggest struggles is just the amount of money that I've spent on all of my different goods. I mean, even these essential oils alone, I spent so much money buying them because I was in that phase, you know, really obsessed with essential oils, and then I hardly ever use them. And I still love them, but again, it's just having so many things that I don't have time to interact with them. And just like my wellness devices that I almost never have time to use, I have a lot of books, which I've already shown, and a lot of these books I've either read or I partially read, but I never even really was able to fully finish them or integrate them. So even having books that I love, they're always gnawing at me a little bit because I haven't, you know, I don't have time to really, again, interact with them and use them. So that's a little bit of that push and pull around having stuff that you love, because you really don't have enough hours in the day to spend time with these. So here in the closet, I have this huge box of magazines, which I use for soul collage. It's an art therapy process I do. And then I have this giant box of mementos, photo albums, and keepsakes, which that's going to be really hard to kind of sort through. And then in these two boxes, the top one has just a bunch of kind of exercise implements like resistance bands, yoga straps. And this one down below is, again, more therapeutic devices for massaging, pain. I have a lot of different types of creams and things. And these are all kind of my little hacks that I've bought online to help me with neck pain, you know, anything, you name it, trying to get rid of cellulite. You know, even over there, I've got my little fascia blaster. I have all of Ashley Black's fascia blasters because I had a lot of muscle pain, and I also wanted to get rid of like cellulite on the backs of my legs, and you know, I had issues with tendonitis and everything before Carnivore, and so I literally spent probably thousands of dollars buying those types of devices that I now no longer really need with Carnivore. I mean, I get the occasional ache and pain in my neck, but not in the same way that I used to. So here's a look under one of my kitchen cabinets, and you can see, it's not really that much stuff, but it still kind of is. So I have in the back there, I have boxes of first aid supplies, and I think I have a bunch of medicines. And again, I'm just getting to this point where I'm taking inventory and looking around and going, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff. A lot of it I will likely never use. And I'm kind of in that push and pull of trying not to feel bad about myself or guilty for having acquired all of this stuff, but also, realizing we can live a lot lighter and feel a lot better without the energy of all these things pulling at us all day, every day. And here's a good example of one of my cabinets where it looks like semi-organized. It's not really that messy. But again, everything's just a little bit, you can see those glasses are just a little bit dirty. Things are a little untidy. And maybe I'm a little OCD, but that stuff, I don't know, it just kind of bugs me. Every time I open a cabinet and it looks like that, I don't feel that great. I don't need that many cups. I'm only one person. And here's a sample of my junk drawer. I don't have that many junk drawers, but this is kind of the way I have done my organizing, which is really just, I guess you could kind of call it like organized chaos. So I use all these little boxes and I just kind of keep everything. That's been a big thing about me not wanting to waste. So even this little like pack of silica gel, I kept it because I was like, oh, well, that can, dry out something. It came in some package. And it's like, you can see I keep silly things like that little compressed air straw, even though every new can comes with one. But I have this kind of like weird micro hoarding mentality where I feel like it's wasteful to throw things that might be useful away. And I remember hearing the story of a museum exhibit with a Chinese woman who was very poor, and she literally saved everything, like down to, a thread that came off of a piece of clothing that she might be able to use. And I really kind of inherited this mentality from, my immigrant grandparents, and, they wouldn't waste or throw anything away. So that's kind of the push for me, or I guess the resistance to getting rid of anything really. And this isn't exactly stuff related, but I guess plants are part of my stuff. And I have a lot of house plants. And one thing is these peace lilies and some of my other plants, they just really are never quite thriving. And I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but you can see this one is, it's doing okay. But that kind of weighs on me sometimes when I look at it and I see like the brown tips, like it definitely drains a little bit of my energy to see when my plants are not doing well. And here's another example, this bamboo plant. It was doing really great, and then suddenly it took a turn for the worst. And so now it has these kind of yellow leaves. And this is a case where I think, well, what should I do? Should I get rid of the bamboo because I've kind of ruined it? Or is that wasteful? So it's not really sparking joy, but I have this block against just getting rid of it. Same thing with these peace lilies that are up on top of my fridge. They're really quite unattractive because they're not really doing very well. And I was told that peace lilies were very hardy and that they could survive anything, but they really haven't survived me. So again, what's the answer for these types of things? Should I give them away? Should I throw them away? Or should I just continue to try to make them better? Which is what I've been doing, and they really aren't improving very much. So I think my plan for all of this tidying is to really just kind of take it slow, be mindful about it, and try to strike a balance between throwing things away, getting rid of them, and just, finding that balance between keeping things that spark joy, but not allowing things to stay in my space just because I purchased them and I feel guilty for the money I spent on them or for wasting them. And so I think my plan is to just go ahead and let things go if they are no longer sparking joy in my environment.